What happened?
Captain's dead.
You're synthetic.
Oh, we don't like that word.
New life forms, acid or blood.
She won't let you have them.
Used to be food, you know.
Me.
Humanity.
You heard it up top. That's right. We're here, Normies Like Us, and we're talking Alien Earth, the first Alien TV show on Normies Like Us with your hosts, Michael Morph.
Boy J. Cobblier.
And we're joined by friend of the pod, if you want to introduce yourself.
Mr. Smee.
Mr. Smee. Yeah, slightly. We had to slightly adjust our plans for this one after Colin got chest bursted. So we brought our alien correspondent, Adam, onto the show.
They just told me to put that weird thing on his face. I didn't know what was going to happen after that. Okay, you can't blame me for that.
They didn't
Thought it was going to be fine.
He's going to be fine. Yeah. But yeah, Alien Earth, Adam, as we have had you on other previous episodes, we know you're a big fan of the series. So I want to ask you and Jacob additionally, kind of what's your brief background with the franchise and what did you think when they announced, we're going to have a TV show set in the Alien universe?
Alien is my favorite movie of all time. I think it's a near perfect movie, and even its flaws I enjoy. I like, I love aliens. I'm a big Alien 3 defender, so I'm in the minority there. I think Resurrection is fine. I think it's kind of a fun, weird movie. I think Prometheus is fine. I think I watched Covenant for the first time not too long ago. I put that off for a long time because I didn't like the trailer. And I just remember it being really mean, which I liked. And I was in the right mood.
When it's focusing on David, it's interesting. But when it's focusing on the settlers, it's less interesting.
I just kind of enjoyed it, maybe because I had such low expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And Romulus, I think I would love if it weren't for a few things, but I don't love it because of those few things. Is that all? That's the mainline Alien franchise?
That's all the mainline Alien stuff. That's want to do AVP, but I don't know if we have to.
I like AVP. I think AVP is stupid and fun.
Fair.
And I think, I rewatched it not too long ago, and it's much more competent than a lot of movies at that level of ham.
Right. Fair.
AVP 1 is... AVP 1, but not AVP 2. That one
I don't think I was able to finish.
Yeah.
I think I couldn't make it through that one.
Yeah.
Fair. What about you, Jacob?
Oh, we've talked about Alien on this podcast before too, but obviously we did an episode on the whole franchise, I believe. But I love Alien, the movie, one of the best movies ever. I like Aliens okay, but I have a hot take that I don't think Aliens, like everyone puts Alien and Aliens as like the two unimpeachable movies. I think Aliens is kind of a big step down from Alien in terms of me liking it, but I appreciate it for what it is. Alien 3, I'm not a huge fan of. Resurrection, I actually kind of like. I agree with Adam. It's just a fun, stupid, goofy movie. And then I like the Ridley Scott prequels, all right for what they are. But I mean, obviously, Alien is the best movie out of all of them by far. And when I heard they were making this TV show, I didn't feel particularly strongly either way, but I was like, I'll definitely check it out and give it a chance. And I liked Noah Hawley, who is the showrunner. I liked what he's done in the past. He did the show Fargo, which is based on the Coen brothers movie Fargo, but obviously diverging a lot and making its own stories. And I think that's a pretty good show. So I was like, at least they got some good people behind it, so I'll give it a chance.
Okay, right on. And I think Alien is incredible, near perfect, even with the flaws. You see the dolly track and the tunnels and stuff. That's all fine.
Oh, right.
I like Alien. I'm the number one Alien Romulus defender. That's my second favorite. And then Prometheus is maybe my third favorite. I'm with Jacob, where I don't put Aliens in my top two, but Alien is obviously the best.
Alien Romulus. I forgot to mention Alien Romulus. I don't like
Right.
it as much as I know Mike's the number
No one
one
on Earth
Alien
likes it
Romulus
as
fan.
much.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings on it as well, but I there's definitely things I like about it, and I don't hate it. So I'll say that. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I enjoy all
I
the. I also like Alien 3, but yeah, go ahead, Adam.
was gonna say, Aliens. There's a lot of things I like about Aliens, but it's really Sigourney Weaver's performance in that movie. That when I watch it, I'm just like, man, she is cooking in this movie.
Yeah.
With kind of a like, if you just look at her lines on the page, it's like,
Yeah.
but then I don't know. I just love watching her in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
She's
anyway,
a
sorry.
highlight for sure.
Made her an action star, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made Reeboks the Alien Stomper edition for V1. Um,
That's right.
but yeah, they announced that this was going to be a show, and I was a little hesitant because they said, "Oh, this is taking place on Earth before even Alien." You know, like 2 years before the events of Alien occur, and then I'm like, I didn't love the idea that, oh, that's not humans' first contact with the xenomorph was Ripley. Like, I didn't like the idea that the show was taking that away from it, and that might color some of my opinions on the show going forward. How do you guys feel about it being a prequel, like Adam? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I even registered that it was a prequel when I saw the trailer. And I like the trailer more than most people I showed it to. You know, like I felt like, hey, I'm open to this. But I try to encapsulate Alien as its own thing. Like I really don't like what Prometheus does with demystifying the space jockeys. Like that's
Yeah.
such a bummer to me, man. Like,
Right.
I don't want to
yeah.
know what that thing is ever.
Mhm.
And even the comic books, you know, they're creepier in the comic books at least. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I was open to it as far as what it actually does being a prequel and intermingling with the Alien canon. I'm definitely not a fan of that, but I try to compartmentalize these things in their
Yeah.
own universes.
Yeah.
I have a couple thoughts on that. So I agree with you about Prometheus and Covenant, and it's so funny that it's Ridley Scott who's doing it, and it's like these older directors can't help but like go back to their early work and like mess with it and make it worse
He's
somehow.
always wanted to do that. I listened to
Yeah.
the 1999 DVD commentary he did, and he's talking about how, like, oh, I'd love to do an Alien 5 about, you know, whatever this creature is. I'm just like, no,
Right.
Ridley, don't do it.
It's the same thing with like George Lucas going back and re-editing and adding all this CGI stuff into Star Wars and stuff. It's the same thing. These old guys can't help themselves, I guess.
He does, prefacing the director's cut of Alien, though. He says, he pops up on screen and he's like, this is the director's cut. People wanted, you know, to see a different version of the film. I think the theatrical version is good as it is. So this is just kind of some extra scenes, you know, and a slightly different cut. And so I appreciate, like, he clearly likes Alien a lot. In that commentary, it's fun because he's just kind of like, man, this is really great. This is a great movie. A lot of cool people worked on this movie. Like, that's mostly what the commentary is.
Nice,
And I think, yeah, it's best, as far as canon, I think it is best to take Alien as its own thing and separate it from the extended lore of the universe and say like that's a perfect movie in itself. But then you can also look at the extended canon, and I never had a problem with Alien Earth being set before Alien because I think as far as canon, okay, as far as the Nostromo, as far as they know, they are the first human contact with the xenomorph because they're not aware of these events happening because they're on the spaceship, right? So I can look at it that way. And then I think most of the world is not aware of the xenomorphs. It's only, you know, it's in this top secret facility and stuff. So it's been contained. So I think you can explain it that way, that like really most people on Earth don't know about the xenomorphs. So I think that
Recontextualizes Ash, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, that Ash does know exactly what he's dealing with.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I think with the, you know, with synths, it's like, it's really, this show is really hitting upon like, and Romulus too, of like the synths are almost like this outdated technology that's being replaced by newer versions with these hybrids, and even the cyborg character that's like a human with cyborg augmented parts and stuff.
Right.
So that's a big part of what the show is about, obviously.
Yeah. It's there's some, not to get too ahead of ourselves. But yeah, like some of the world building's cool, but yeah, I was a little, just again, yeah, initially hesitant but the trailer did look good, and so overall
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's give this a whirl. So that's what we did, and now we're here to talk about it.
That's right. We'll definitively decide if it's better or worse than Alien Romulus.
Yep, according to me, probably won't be. But no, we'll make the ultimate call on that. Maybe talk about the future of the Alien franchise now under Disney. Ripley's a Disney princess now, so that's cool.
That's right.
Yeah,
And she's in Fortnite.
And she's in Fortnite, the most important. And so is the Xenomorph, so we love to see that. But
That's right.
let's go ahead, and I'm going to go talk to Mother, and we're going to get this thing started, and we're going to go over the first season of Alien Earth on Normies Like Us. We're back on Normies Like Us talking Alien Earth Season 1 with our alien expert, Adam, joining us. And yeah, we're going to talk about this new show. We have, I guess we could talk about the cast. We have Sydney Chandler, correct?
That's right.
Wendy.
Kyle Chandler's daughter.
Right.
Coach Taylor for Friday Night Lights, of course. Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose. And yeah, this is the first thing I've seen her, and I know she's done some other stuff too. But let's just talk about like the basic premise of the show being more so even than the aliens. It's about, again, this idea of hybrids, basically putting. So there's like a tech CEO trillionaire guy who's putting the consciousness of sick children into artificial bodies, right? And they're he's trying to make the next step of evolution of synths, I guess.
Yeah.
So she's playing the main character, and she's the first test model of this new technology.
Yeah, we're learning that there's another megacorp. Obviously, in this universe, we've known about like Weyland-Yutani is the main player usually in these movies, and now we have Prodigy, which is being run by a character, Boy Cavalier, played by Samuel Blanken, who I haven't seen before, but his whole thing is advancing human evolution with this synth idea.
Yeah. The Big Five,
Yeah, they make a big deal out of the Big Five. I think there are three separate exposition scenes where they very plainly explain the Big Five. I think only Wayland and Prodigy come into play in this show. But they're really hammering that Big Five. It's like the opening scene is like two people who have
tell me about this Big Five.
Tell me about the forces that run our universe again.
Right.
I forgot.
If you existed in this world, you would probably know their names by now. But essentially, the world is like the governments have been overthrown and are now run by these 5 corporations. So it's really a technocratic capitalist society, I guess.
Yeah. There's no world government, just 5 companies: Weyland-Yutani, Lynch, Dynamic, Threshold, and Prodigy. And yeah, like Adam said, there's only 2 that really seem to be doing anything in this scenario.
And let me, if you guys might know Alien canon more than me, but is this idea that there are other companies as big as Weyland-Yutani in this world, is that something that's new in this show, or has that been done before?
In my favorite Alien sequel, Alien Isolation, the video game, there is Seegson, which is basically a Dollar General version of Weyland-Yutani. And I really love that. They have budget synthetics, and their whole thing is like, you can tell our synthetics are synthetics. We're not trying to make them too human. That'd be terrifying.
Right. Okay.
Working. That's one of the best Alien sequels for sure. Yeah, shout out Alien Isolation. That game's incredible.
Never played it, but I heard it's good. Yeah.
But Siglin or whatever that company's, they're the small 6. They're not in the Big Five, I guess.
Yeah.
For sure. But basically,
but this company Prodigy. Sorry, go.
Well, Prodigy is doing this kind of synthetic advancement of putting human consciousness in synth bodies. So it's like, the brains of a human being with all the advantages of a body that can't die and is super strong and durable and that kind of thing.
And presumably the brains of the computational power of a synthetic, merging with the human mind.
Right.
That's a big motivation for Boy Cavalier is, everyone else is so stupid. I would love to, advance humanity so that I can be equal.
Yeah. The idea is you're taking
no one's as smart as me.
Yeah.
Right. The best parts of AI and human consciousness and combining them basically because human consciousness has limitations that AI can compensate for, I guess, but AI also has limitations that human consciousness can compensate for. So putting them together, theoretically, you'll make the next step an evolution and you'll make the smartest, strongest, best people alive, right?
And you'll make
Yeah.
money off of everybody who wants to live forever.
Eventually,
Right.
yeah. Because
Yeah, which would be a
initially,
huge invention that only the super rich would be able to afford for sure.
right. And then because of the newness of the technology, it's like an adult brain can't really integrate as easily because it's fully formed. So they're doing the initial test rounds with these kids, which sets
Oh,
up the
right.
whole Neverland, Lost Boys kind of
Yeah.
trappings that I don't
Do you think
love.
do you think they wanted to call it Alien Neverland and couldn't? Because Alien Earth makes no sense. It has nothing to do with Earth, really.
No,
We
just
see
because it's set
about
on
12
Earth.
characters over the course of the show. There's maybe 2 crowd shots. The
We're in
premise
one
of
country.
aliens come to Earth is not paid
It's
off.
not really
at
what
all.
this is. Yeah, and
Yeah.
No.
I agree. The name doesn't fit. Yeah, Alien Neverland would have been great, but maybe they were like, look, let's make it more generic so people will just click on it because it sounds generic, I guess.
We'll
I don't
make
know.
those weird posters where the
Yeah.
alien is in Earth. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. The Alien Prodigy, I guess, would have worked because it's like, oh, well, who is the
Sure,
Prodigy?
yeah.
Which we kind of play with in this
Alien
show.
Prodigy, yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously,
But-
Boy Cavalier loves Peter Pan more than anybody else in the world. Obviously, he sees himself as the Peter Pan figure in all this, and then he names all of his children after the different Lost Boys, except for Wendy, the main Sydney Chandler. He names Wendy because she's the first and most important, of course.
Right. And I can never keep these names straight. We got like Smee and Slightly and
Slightly, Smee,
um,
Toodles.
Do we have a
Toodles.
Smee? I didn't even realize we actually had a Smee.
Yeah,
We have a
This is,
Smee.
Slightly, Smee, Curly, Nibs, and Toodles.
Is
are their
Smee a lost boy in the book? When I
That's
think of
true.
Smee,
Why
I think
would-
of Captain. I think of Hook, the movie Hook.
I think
Same, right?
maybe they ran out of character names. They're like, well, we'll name this one Smee, I guess.
This one's Smee.
I like. I think it's Curly, who's like at one point like, wait, why does she get to be Wendy and I have to be Curly? That's not even a girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of the
yeah,
girl
yeah.
one says that. Which is a good point.
Curly kind of eventually gets close with Boy Cavalier and thinks I like her kind of little thing.
No, that's Nibs,
that-
I believe.
um,
Curly's the one that
no, Curly's the one who wants to be She wants to be
favorite.
number 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I have them mixed up.
Nibs
But
is the
Nibs
one who
is the
rips
one
the
that,
jaw off that person.
Yeah. So she's the one who
Spoilers
says, wait,
for
why
Alien
does she
Earth.
get to be Wendy?
Yeah. But I'll be getting these names wrong the whole episode, guaranteed. But
No
you know,
worries.
we'll figure it out.
So yeah, we got Wendy as the main kid, then we've got 5 additional kids. So they're all terminally ill children that they then put the consciousness of these children into these synthetic bodies. So they all have the personality of a child because they're still children, but they're in these adult bodies. So these actors all have to do this thing where they're playing children in adult bodies, which would be kind of difficult, I think.
I think they pull it off pretty well. It could have so easily been the most obnoxious thing in the
Yeah.
world. The lead certainly does a good job, and I think for the most part the actors are doing well with what they've got and the assignment. It would have been cool to see some progression over time. They
Right.
mentioned that they can just digest books instantly, but none of them ever really progressed beyond a state of I'm a little kid. Like
I think
there's-
mentally they're still, because they're still children. I mean, I think they do. I don't know. They each kind of have their own arc, or some of them have more of an arc than others. But obviously, Slightly has a whole arc with Morrow, who we'll talk about, and Morrow kind of convincing him to do things for him. And
Mhm.
then Nib's arc, I think, is interesting too, where she's the one that like at one point thinks she's pregnant, and they have to wipe her memory, and that like really messes her up and stuff. But I agree that I think all these actors do a good job of playing kids in adult bodies. I kind of think my hot take is I don't love the main actress Sydney Chandler. I think she's more kind of one note throughout this whole show. I don't think she's terrible, but she could be doing, I don't know, she could be better, I think. I don't know about you guys.
I think I'm looking at the name here because I have to look it up. Jonathan Ajayi, who plays Smee, I think he does a really good job of being a kid. The guy who's helping slightly with the stuff, I think he does a really good job of
he does good.
stuff.
I think all the kids do good. I think
They're
Wendy.
supposed to be different ages, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
don't know
Wendy's
exactly.
the oldest, and then
Right.
I guess Smee is the youngest. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a varying age range for sure, and Wendy's supposed to be
And they
kind
all
of
have
the big
different
sister.
personalities, and they're all coping with this transformation in various ways.
Along with the help of one psychologist who is also a scientist. They're all on an island. They're on a secret island together, or maybe
Right.
not secret. It's just where Boy Cavalier lives.
Yeah.
And they're in this research
island
facility
of
where
Prodigy.
there are like 5 people working there, which is maybe the craziest and most annoying thing about the show to me, is you have these multi-billion-dollar child experiments, and they make a big point of like, we can see and hear everything you do, like you're tied into our system, but nobody's ever monitoring them. The psychologist checks in on them when
They're not
they
very good
go
at
up
their
to
jobs.
check in.
Yeah.
Everyone in the show is incompetent, and maybe that's a result of this, mega capitalist world.
I don't agree necessarily that everyone is incompetent, because I think, and we'll talk about Timothy Oliphant role of Kirsch, the synthetic. I think but a lot of them are kind of following their own motivation. So like, he's doing stuff behind the scenes that doesn't always align with what Boy Cavalier wants to do. And then you have Morrow obviously doing stuff. And let's talk about this, because these are my 2 favorite. I think these are the 2 best characters in this. Morrow, Babu Kisei, who's the cyborg, who's a human with some synthetic parts that he can use, and he was originally on the Yutani ship that crashes on Earth, and he's basically tasked with retrieving these specimens for Yutani. And I think this guy is killing it in terms of acting. Like, him and Timothy Oliphant, I think, are kind of acting on another level from everyone else in this show, personally.
Yeah, I love watching Timothy Oliphant as a synth. I love watching actors who know their stars and just can hold the space, and relax. He's probably the highlight of the show for me. The guy playing Morrow, I think, he does an excellent job. I just feel like there's such a missed opportunity for his character to have any motivation. Like, it's hinted at that, or it's not hinted at. His daughter. Have we passed a spoiler wall?
No, yeah, we're full spoiler. Just let him fly.
Okay, yeah. His daughter has passed away. He was adopted by an old Wayland Yutani heir, and he's a cyborg. But we have this bottle episode where, his entire crew dies, and he finds out that Boy Cavalier is behind it. And instead of that being any kind of motivation for his character that puts us on his side of like, oh man, he's avenging his crew. He never cares about his crew. We don't understand him having any motivation to do the horrible things he does, except that he is loyal to Wayland Yutani.
Yeah, I think his motivation is that he's working for Yutani, and he'll do whatever he can to retrieve these. I don't know why he's so hardcore about it, but
he talks about how horrible his life is and how everything's been taken from him.
I think the idea is
like, why not give him some like, I'm going to get back at this guy. He's more involved with Timothy Oliphant just because he's a synth, and I think all their a cyborg more than a synth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, okay, sure.
Their scenes together are great.
Not potent to me.
Not right, yeah.
Yeah, I think Morrow and Kirsch are very interesting kind of when they're facing off, but I think his motivation is just that if he does this for Yutani, he'll be rewarded by Yutani with like a promotion or something, and get in her good graces and become like a powerful person within the company. I guess that if I had to extract a motivation from this show.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that is his motivation as presented. I'm just saying, for all the awful things he does, it would be a more rich experience for me if I had some like buy-in for like, oh, you know what? I see this guy's point of view. Versus like, this guy's just harming people's families and
he doesn't give a
murdering left and right. And, like,
profit motive.
just because
Yeah.
he worked for one
and
company and not the other.
I think because of that, when you see like glimpses of humanity within his character, it's like, whoa, this guy actually like does care about something sometimes. But yeah, I agree. It could have maybe been more. And then Kirsch, I think, is a really interesting character. Obviously, Timothy Oliphant, the biggest name involved with the show in terms of within the cast, like a known guy. Love him in Deadwood, great show. But he's sort of doing. Yeah,
Love
the
the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
He's a handsome cowboy guy.
The real Cobb.
The real
The big
Cobb.
Cobb.
He's great at playing handsome, dashing cowboys. But here he's kind of playing an inversion because he like knows he's like a handsome leading man kind of guy. So he's like, just like dye my hair and my eyebrows blonde so I just look super weird. And he's kind of doing a spin on or a take on the David character, I think, where he's like this scheming synth behind the scenes who's like he knows everything that's going on with Morrow and Slightly, and he's like just kind of monitoring it all like for his experiments. So he's like doing experiments on the children at various times and stuff. So he's got his own motivations, even though he's working for Boy Cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the richest character to me.
Yeah. I was gonna say his hair reminds me of Blade Runner.
Yeah, he is very Blade Runner coded throughout, I feel like.
And I'm wondering if, and I'll talk about this more in depth later, but like Disney seems to be kind of, I don't know, merging some universes a little bit, like with Predator Badlands, and like, is it explicit that the replicants are just another name for synths because we have Yutani and Wayland Yutani? Like, it seems like they're making that text, perhaps, especially with Predator Badlands. Maybe that's a hint, but we'll find out.
They could have made Tyrell one of the big five,
Yeah,
right.
They should have done that.
They should have done Tyrell.
And it all starts with Ridley Scott. He made Blade Runner and he made Alien.
I don't know if I'm for more crossing of universes and
I'm
more
not
dragging one IP into the other, but if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, Predator and Alien, it's been established that they exist within the same universe.
But that was a separate universe from Prime Alien universe. It was already a separate one, but now they're just... Anyway, that's a
I consider it all the same. But
Again,
it's like Star Wars. You have extended lore, you have Disney lore, so it's just like, there's going to be contradictions, but you just have to do it in your head, I guess.
You have the director's cut. You have to have your own consumer's cut of like every universe. Like, what is your version that you're okay with? And just figure that out. But the inciting incident, I guess, in this whole thing. So we have the Lost Boys are established, and then this Yutani ship, episode 1, we learn is carrying a bunch of alien specimens, and it's ones we haven't even seen before. Yeah, the Maginot.
Yeah, so they have xenomorphs, and then they have a whole zoo full of dangerous aliens that are basically at all times trying to kill the humans and escaping. And that's another thing that's very funny about the show is that everyone is so bad at keeping these aliens contained. Like, they're just constantly breaking out.
They're always in glass. They're always behind breakable glass.
They're always tricking people. But I think some of these aliens are really cool designs, though. So I think I got to give props to them for like the designs, and the effects are like really good. Obviously, the eye monster in particular, I thought was awesome.
Yeah, I like these. What do you think, Adam?
I've seen a lot of love for the eye. I like the eye. Okay, I like the premise of having this kind of alien zoo. I wish we'd gotten more of it. We mostly get the eye. I guess we get a fair amount of it in the end. But I was just so hung up on the containment protocol for these aliens, which we know have already killed a bunch of the crew. They mentioned, and it's also like, why is it in the interest of Wayland to have them do experiments en route home? Lock that stuff up, keep it alive. You're not going to do testing on the ship, man. That doesn't make sense, especially not when everyone's so haphazard about No,
they weren't doing that on the Nostromo. But I guess this is like a scientific research vessel.
That's the thing that maybe hurts me the most is just the Maginot is the Nostromo. And it's a science vessel versus a towing vessel.
They wouldn't be so
why
similar.
do they look the same? I don't love them playing in my favorite set ever when it's also all these kind of like beautiful modern actors if you're going to be in the Nostromo, you better have glycerin all over your face, and you got to have
Yeah.
smoker's teeth. Like
You need
Yeah.
the
Harry Dean
capitalist
Stanton.
future is not making us all prettier. Like we are
No.
we're going to age faster, like we did in the 70s.
Mhm.
And I like this episode 5, In Space No One ... It's essentially a mini Alien movie within this show about children in robot bodies. And obviously it is very much sort of a remake of Alien with some twists, being that there's like other aliens and stuff on the ship. And you can say, yeah, there's definitely some fan service in terms of like just kind of imitating the original. But to me, I actually really like this episode because I thought it was just cool to see like a twist on Alien. I don't feel like it was too much of a copy of Alien. I don't know about you guys.
I get that I don't want people playing in your favorite set, but I think in the replication of it, they did a good job. Like I like the set design and the look of this show in general.
Oh yeah, me too.
So I like
me
the
too.
way that the world feels. So I'll give them credit for making it feel like the Nostromo and like redoing it. But yeah, maybe it could have been a different ship. But I do like the look of the
But I
set
think
design.
yeah, the set design is incredible. Like the whole production design. Obviously, this movie or this show was very expensive. They put a lot of had a very big budget, but I think that definitely shows on screen because I think the cinematography is incredible. I think the sets and everything, like it's all very well done. But I think, yeah, with this episode in the ship, there's callbacks and stuff, obviously, to Alien, but to me, it's not too egregious. Like even compared to Alien Romulus, like what I like about the show is like no one's saying like, get away from her, you bitch, or anything like that. So
I prefer the term artificial human. We do have we don't like that word, but we don't get an exact callback. Yeah.
This episode was the turning point for me, where there had been things that I didn't like, but I was open. I'm like, okay, there's some stuff cooking here. And this episode, it just started to feel, which is one of my, personal things when I'm watching something, is I'm fine to be swept away into something and there are plot holes. And it's, if I notice something later, I don't care. If it totally makes sense. But the whole episode, I was just like, why are they doing what they're doing? Like, is everyone that stupid? Why are they not checking in on the cameras? There's a saboteur on the ship. They're not watching everybody. They're letting the creatures get out. They've got 14 days when they start the episode. They're like, we're 14 days away.
right.
And then suddenly we're there. We're crashing into the so they've been sleeping in between, I guess. But the whole episode is just a constant there's a cause and no effect of like why didn't you post someone to check the capsules? Why didn't you ever check the security camera until now?
Yeah,
Why is
I
this
guess
all unfolding like this?
that's
Because
fair.
Alien is people in a situation they're not prepared for,
Right.
and
Right.
they're acting. They start working as a team, and you can understand where their failures come from. And they're mostly trying to figure this thing out. Whereas this was a string of why'd you do that?
We
I
know
think, yeah,
exactly
that's
what we're
fair
dealing
because
with. We know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
dangerous they are. It's not like we're being
the plot
surprised.
the plot is relying on the incompetence of the crew members. So I agree with that. I guess the only competent person is Morrow, who's like trying to figure out who's the saboteur. And I agree, these
Except
scientists and people.
he never considers we've got a room full of people in suspension, and
Right.
maybe we should and also there's no alarm on the ship when someone comes out of
Yeah.
hypersleep, or
Right.
I
There's a
don't know.
lot
It was
of
just the whole time why is this unfolding this way?
that's true. There's a lot of convenience and just incompetence, human incompetence, kind of making the plot go along. I kind of look at it obviously these scientists and people in charge should be better at their jobs, but then if you have the mechanic guys who are just doing this for a paycheck basically, and there's that kind of undercurrent of basically in this world you sign a lifetime contract to work for a company that keeps you alive basically, because otherwise you're not making any money. I think that's what's interesting about the Joe Hermit character too, where you see kind of what it's like to live as a normal person in this future. So you have like the mechanic on ship and stuff like that. Like I understand why they might not be the best people. I think Alien kind of has that same thing too.
Yeah, they're all, and again, I think it can be explained somewhat by like we live in such a cursed society where we're so repressed and separated from information. But when you're on Wayland's like prime research vessel, you'd think it would be in their best interest to be like have very strict protocols of like you don't eat your sandwich next to the open,
Right.
open alien tank.
I wonder how many like Wayland Yutani ships are out there at one time, because like maybe this is just one of many different science vessels, and they kind of write off like, yeah, we're going to lose some of them as like collateral damage, and like we have a write off for that, because like obviously the whole thing is like to Yutani, the cargo is more important than the crew, right? So it's more important that the cargo gets to the destination whether or not the crew survives, and that's like the big thing that Morrow is in charge of.
And there's a synth on that ship who is on the fritz, I guess.
Yeah.
Who is
that was
just
weird.
kind
They
of
didn't really know what to do with
looming-
this.
And
He's like
and
a
at all
weird
other
creeper.
points, it's like the aliens don't want to eat the synths, except for that guy. The alien
Yeah.
eats that guy. I
I didn't know what they were trying to do with that guy, because they were like, oh, he's like obsessed with this one crew member and he like watches her sleep and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what they're trying to do with this guy.
Yeah, I wonder if there was more of that was cut. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would pay. I'm Yutani. I want the specimens. I would pay people who are capable of maintaining the security of the specimens.
Just
during
stock the
trip.
whole
Right.
thing with synths. Or I guess maybe they just go crazy all the time, and that's why you can't
Yeah.
rely on synths in your infrastructure.
Right.
But yeah, these
maybe.
people are so bad at keeping these aliens contained. Like within a couple days span, like all of these different aliens break out like independently of one another and are just like causing chaos on the ship. And then even in the Prodigy research facility, they're just like constantly getting out.
They never check on the kids. They never
Yeah.
check on the kids. They
There's, like,
never
no
they don't
oversight.
have
Island.
someone full-time staff to like, oh, this one's saying this right now. This one, like, they
Well, maybe
set
that's
up
like the
this
hubris
surveillance
of
state.
Boy Cavalier thinking that he knows better than anyone. He's like, he's not, because he's so
Cavalier.
yeah, he's,
Yeah.
he's so
exactly.
cavalier, exactly. He just thinks nothing will go wrong because he's the smartest person in the world and nothing could possibly go wrong underneath him. So that leads to these security breaches and stuff. And then you have
Yeah.
Kirsch, who's kind of overseeing his job. He's like the mentor to these children, but he's also just like doing experiments on them and stuff.
And he doesn't like them because they make him obsolete. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, all the failures that he allows make sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because
But-
Like with the
it's motivated.
Mhm.
yeah. I was gonna say I don't want to jump ahead too far, but the one Toodles who gets eaten by the inorganic material eating flies, which is another
Oh,
cool
yes.
species that we see.
The fly. Yeah, I get because
The
the
fly.
whole. I guess the inciting incident is when basically all the incompetent people on the ship let
Yeah.
the aliens get out. Boy Cavalier says, "Hey, sabotage that shit," and then the ship crashes into Prodigy City. And now they're like, "Okay, we want to get the samples, and Yutani wants them too." So that's kind of this
Right.
what we're doing for the rest of the season.
Yeah, the reveal that Boy Cavalier is behind the sabotage, that's not revealed until that episode
Yeah.
5. But the inciting incident is Morrow basically allows the ship to crash into a Prodigy building or a Prodigy city, I guess. Like the Prodigy is like a Prodigy
New
run city
Siam,
with
it's in Thailand basically. It's where Prodigy is.
and so now there's this Yutani ship that's crashed into a Prodigy building. So Boy Cavalier decides to send his
$billion
children.
assets.
Who have the minds of children into this spaceship to retrieve the specimens and stuff. And that's sort of
Again,
what leads to,
it's what leads it off, but what a decision to be like, yep, this is the most valuable thing I've ever made. Let's throw it in a dangerous scenario.
It's very much like a comic book. The plot in general, having read a lot of Aliens comics, it is like on that level of like, this doesn't really make sense, but suspend your disbelief because you're reading a comic book. You
Yeah,
know, like
right.
we gotta
It's
put
gonna be cool. But again-
the fancy tech in this weird situation.
But I think again you could kind of explain it as like, Boy Cavalier, he's being very cavalier, and he just thinks nothing can go wrong under him because he's so smart. It's the
Too busy
hubris.
being barefoot and playing with his ball.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm not wearing socks right now, just so you guys know.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
I think that actor was fine, but the constant business they have him doing in scenes to like
Yeah.
really highlight his character kind of drove me nuts.
He's gonna
Like
put his feet up on the
I
desk.
play with the ball. I'm barefoot. I
Mhm.
show
Yeah.
off my bare feet a lot to show how cavalier I am. It's like,
Essentially, yeah, he's like this
a little
eccentric tech CEO who's like performing this character of eccentricity as a way of being like, look, I'm so brilliant. I'm a child prodigy, and I'm also like weird, and I do weird stuff. To me,
And
that's
he-
like part. Yeah, go ahead.
he is supposed to be menacing. And the scariest thing in the show to me is when Nimic, Nimic from Andor,
Yeah, Joe,
the
yeah,
brother.
Joe.
He's rescued by his sister and winds up on this island, and they've replaced his lung, so they own him forever.
Right.
And maybe it's episode 3, where it's just kind of this like, we own you, we own your sister, you work for us forever. There's no way out. We surveil everything constantly. Like that's very modern, current,
Yeah.
rather, and that sense of oppression was very alien to me. And terrifying. But Boy Cavalier isn't. If he had been a little more competent and a little less cavalier, the triumph over Cavalier would have been much more exciting to me than just kind of like it's his own failures one after the other that continue to lead him to destruction.
I think with Joe Hermit, like even before the spaceship and stuff, he's a Prodigy employee who's like trying to get out of his contract, but he has to like keep working for them for like a long time, basically to pay off his contract.
Yeah, he's a
He's a
medic for their military.
Combat medic.
Yeah.
And there are constant corporate wars going on.
Yeah. Basically living in this future would be, obviously a nightmare, but obviously has parallels to the future that we're currently living in, which is also bad.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're almost there. Get ready, people. But
soon I'm gonna be a Amazon soldier, and I'm gonna be forced to fight against Meta.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get drafted by OnlyFans, ideally, but we'll find out what corp I end up with. But you see that even Joe, like he's got a corporate job, like as a military, medic, but like he's living in like a group share household to watch Ice Age 4. Like he doesn't have his own place even, so he's not really making a ton of money.
He's still probably at like poverty level. And I think Alien Romulus did a good job of like this too. When you see the stuff in the beginning with the mines and everything, it's like, man, it's just a capitalist nightmare in this future.
Sorry, the quota's been raised. You met it, but we just moved the goalpost for you. It sucks to suck. Yeah,
that the way that plays with Alien bums me out a little bit. They talk on the Maginot about how like you finish your assignment and then you beg for another one to go out for another 60 years. You never see your family. You never see anything, which is, again, fits the world. But it was nice imagining an alien like, oh, they took this terrible job because they're going to have a huge payout when they get home. And there's hope at the end of the tunnel that they're being cut off from versus like, wherever I am is hell all the time. So who cares?
Yeah.
I was wondering about this too. Like maybe you guys can explain it, but like Morrow, like he says he had like a 60-year contract or something, right, on the spaceship, but like they're not 60 years old. So how are they age differently in cryo sleep or something?
Yeah, you don't age in the cryo sleep.
Okay.
But then I guess they can patch you up with whatever when you get home. You can get you can get a blade and a blowtorch combo. The most useful combination for a cyborg to have.
Right.
Absolutely.
A blade and a blowtorch. Gotta use that blowtorch all the time, man. Constantly wishing I had one on my pocket.
Yeah.
It's the guy at the party. It's like always has a pocket knife, but you're the blowtorch guy. It's like, can someone start this fire? I got you. Yeah. No problem.
Right. Yeah. So so the inciting incident, obviously, ship crashing into the building.
sending
Prodigy
the children,
sends their kids in, the
and Joe has
Lost
to go
Boys.
there to help, like, help civilians who got
Because he's
injured
a
in the
medic.
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
he ends up there too at the same time.
And Wendy wants to go because Wendy finds, like, Wendy, as we also can learn, is can control the surveillance cameras, control any technology. It seems like she has a lot of powers that she just gets that aren't fully explained, but she is like watching her brother through surveillance cameras and stuff, and so she knows that he's there, so she wants to go. So she kind of convinces Prodigy and Boy Cavalier to send them, because she wants to save her brother mainly.
Is it implied that she is the one who denies his transfer because she's watching him try to do the transfer?
Yeah,
and
I think
like the paperwork
so.
gets messed up. Did she?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think she digitally manipulated it.
So
to
he
keep it
I mean,
didn't leave.
she puts in the Ice Age quote into the robot, but I don't know
Yeah.
if she's
Right.
still contrronling it when the transfer is denied or that
They
was
love Ice Age.
already
Yeah.
happening.
Right.
Well, we got to talk about this because I love the cinematography in this show. It's really well shot, and they do a lot of these like slow fades and stuff, which are really cool.
Yeah,
These
like 3
transitions and stuff.
layers of footage
Yeah.
on top of each other.
But at one
Mhm.
point in like the early episodes, or a couple points, they have basically there's this, Wendy, who used to be called Marcy when she was a human, and her brother Joe used to watch Ice Age together, and they bonded over that. So at one point, there's just a slow fade of Sid from Ice Age appearing on the screen, which is a very funny
Mhm.
image to look at.
Yeah, out of context when that was going around the internet, it is a weird, but that was their favorite movie. Yeah.
It is a weird way to be like, this is the universe you were familiar with back in 2000,
Right.
whatever.
We're watching
on a
this old
different
movie,
SKU.
this classic
Mhm.
movie, Ice Age. Yeah.
Yeah, very odd choice. But this beginning couple of episodes, I think it was really pretty strong, actually. Like the whole exploring the ship, trying to get the specimens out of there. Like we're getting introduced to the specimens and like the going in and out of the ship and the building. Like I like this kind of first set of episodes. I thought it was really promising. At least that's how I took
The
it.
most sparks I've ever seen in any media ever. They're constantly like grinding sparks in that building.
Yep.
But yeah,
Great set.
the first few episodes, I think is, I started messaging people being like, hey, you seen this yet? It could be good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I think personally, I feel like I liked the show more as it went on, and I started to get more into the story. But it really, jumps into the action kind of right away with this ship where you start seeing people getting killed by aliens. So it's got that horror factor of like the xenomorph hunting people throughout this building. But it's interesting how it's structured, where it's like it jumps into this action set piece for like a couple episodes, then they kind of pull back. They go back to the research facility, and it kind of slows down a little bit. And then we kind of cut away for this prequel that's this little mini alien movie inside this show, and then we go back for the big finale, which is like shit's going down at the complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of slow on the island stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess I just don't know. Like, I feel like this could have been 3 episodes shorter easily.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of development in those scenes for the characters or the plot. It's just kind of like, okay, we're talking again. We're kids. I know
Yep.
you're kids. I got it. You're experimenting on the aliens. Okay, all right. Is anything going to happen right at the end of the episode? Maybe. Maybe we'll get a little something before we have the needle drop.
Right. Before we get the Gen
The
X
needle
rock
drops.
music drop every episode.
There was a TV on the radio song in the I think it's the first episode when Wendy's up on a rock, and I don't like music with lyrics in my sci-fi. If that hadn't been TV on the radio, I would have really hated it. But we've even got lyrics in the opening. We got the strange brew. It was inside of you.
That's right.
It's not for me. I'm sure it's for somebody. It ain't
not
for me, man.
No.
That's fair. But I love, I love a lot of what they're doing with the cinematography and the editing, though. I think needle drops aside, like they're doing some cool stuff with the slow fades and all that stuff. Like I really like that stuff.
Yeah, it's a pretty show to look at.
Yeah, definitely. And they try to mix sort of that dirty future aesthetic with sort of a new, like a modern, clean, with the, more, with the companies being more, having more money and stuff, them being very modern looking, and then having the dirty used future on like on the ship and stuff.
Well, we've got the Gulp Shido character who cleans the walls.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
constantly cleaning some goo off the walls, which is
Right.
never explained.
No, that's true. What was that guy doing? What was Glove Shadow cleaning?
Steaming the wall.
Yeah, I gotta keep them moist, man. It's an alien movie. Things gotta be wet,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also like that. What were they? They were the rich people, and they're trying to evacuate the building. They're having like a French tea party kind of thing. They're like, no, we're rich. We don't need to leave. Like, and then they're
having like
destroyed.
a eyes wide shut like sex party or something. I feel like they're doing weird stuff at that party.
But
that was
felt
the
kind of
only
like Blade Runner,
Yeah.
like a baddie hotel kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
That was-
the rich are so out of like what's going on in the world that they're just so hedonistic. They're just partying it up in their
They're in wigs, so like
yeah, they're like
18th
old French
century
wigs and stuff.
Yeah,
They're
I like
nothing's
that.
going on out there. What are you talking about? No, there's like an alien out here. Whatever, man. We're partying in here.
Yeah.
That was the only action sequence with the alien that I guess I remember enjoying it. The alien was not doing it for me through the course of the show. There is some nice suit stuff, but there's a lot of like shimmying the shoulders, and there's a whole lot of the alien is going to stare at you for a long time. In that bottle episode, we have the alien staring at a woman for forever because she's having a nervous breakdown. And then eventually she just runs away down a hallway and it doesn't catch her.
That's the thing is sometimes
it's really weird.
This alien likes to stare at people. Yeah.
It's very inconsistent because sometimes it will just appear behind you and suddenly attack you, and then sometimes it'll just watch you and not attack you. It's like sometimes it goes like it attacks way too fast, and then sometimes it's just like I'll let you run away. Don't worry.
We do get an alien fighting the eyeball creature moment in that bottle episode. Which I might have liked better if the sound design was different, but like the sound design is just not there in the scene. They're like it's just like silent to the point where they shoot an electric gun at the thing and it doesn't make any noise, and I'm like, come on, put a little put some electricity under that. Yeah, you do remember the fight though, right? The eyeball versus alien.
Kind of.
It's right at the end of that bottle episode.
Oh, okay.
The climax.
Yeah.
There's like a three-way showdown between an eyeball, an alien, and
the eyeball I thought was an interesting, like the creature design was very cool. The way it's like basically a parasite that can go into whatever, living thing and become its eye and then like take over its body. And obviously its big arc is that like, it's an intelligent creature and it's like maybe as smart as humans. And Boy Cavalier wants to communicate with it, and we see it like it knows pi. I guess it knows the decimals of pi, so it's smart. But I thought it was an interesting arc that they're going with, and I guess it's going to be followed up on more next season. I guess.
I was hoping we would get to that this season. I was like, come on already, put that in a talking thing. But
no, the ending of this show kind of bummed me out because it ends on such a like cliffhanger. Like, well, that's it. I guess check us out in 2 years when the next season comes out for the follow-up. And it's like, man, I kind of wanted more out of like this season than what we actually got.
More payoff.
Yeah. I guess to summarize like the plot of the show, the children realize that over time, one of them kind of has a break and they wipe its memory and nobody's checking on anything. So the children get worse and more, scared of what's happening to them. And then one child is contacted by Morrow and to get an alien off of the island so that Morrow can take it to Weyland-Yutani, because Weyland-Yutani's ship, at one point, Weyland tries to sue Prodigy. They don't ever bring up that they have footage of Boy Cavalier sabotaging their ship.
Right.
That never comes up again.
That would be important for Morrow to tell Yutani.
They don't really prepare for the meeting at all. It's like two lawyers.
That was strange. I didn't think about that.
So
But
anyway,
essentially,
they're like, we're gonna get that alien one way or another, and
I feel
Morrow's
like, yeah,
like,
but
I'm gonna kill your family.
that's
Mhm.
only one of Morrow's contingency plan, because he's also just assaulting the island and is prepared to like take back all the specimens. But he's like, I'll also get this one hybrid to like hatch another xenomorph, and then I'll also get that xenomorph maybe. So his plans are kind of all over the place. Where he's like, I'm just doing whatever might work. But I agree, Utani should have known about, like, if Morrow would have told Utani that. So that is weird to think about. And then that whole arbitration scene or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, it's
Y'all are
Utani
stupid
property.
too, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Y'all
lawyers
didn't
are
prepare
stupid.
for this at all. Like, this is the first time you've ever thought about having this conversation. Huh? Okay.
Right. But essentially, the argument is like, yeah, it's Utani property, but it crashed into Prodigy property. So Prodigy took possession of all the contents on the ship, and then they eventually come to agreement, like, yeah, we'll return your specimens after the 2-week quarantine period, in which we'll do a bunch of experiments and stuff on them.
Yeah, but what a crazy negotiate. Like in real life, like the CEO is not going to the courtroom. Like we're sending our lawyers who are better
Right.
at arbitration than we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
but
says just
that's how the
one
Big
guy
Five
showing up
roll.
with his synth backups, basically.
Yeah.
No
just
other lawyers or
feet on
anything.
the
It's me and the
table.
boys.
Yeah.
And it is basically the argument that it is a plot that I would have come up with to be like,
Mm.
nuh-uh, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
they keep the creatures. Nimic, what is Nimic's name?
Joe.
Joe?
Joe. Herman.
Joe wants to get his sister off of the island, and
Yeah.
so kind of in tandem, we have one lost boy trying to get an alien sample, and then like Joe formulating his plan to escape.
Right.
And all of that just kind of comes to a head when everything starts falling apart at once.
Yeah.
It's all kind of
It all just
simultaneous.
starts going crazy. And what's interesting, yeah, like Joe, his main priority is getting his sister out of there. The children, they slowly realize, wait, we're like stronger than humans. We could just like overpower them because we have synthetic bodies.
They
It
don't
takes them a
figure
while
that
to
out
realize
soon
that.
enough to carry the body across the
That-
island that has an alien in it.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
it's driving me crazy. As they establish they can run super fast, they have synth
Yeah,
powers.
they can rip
They're
people's
very
jaw
strong.
off.
Yeah,
Wendy
yeah.
jumps off cliffs and just lands chilling. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
slightly should have been able to pick up that body, no problem.
Yeah, and between the two of them, they should have been able to just sprint. Their battery is supposed to last, years or something. They talk about how powerful
Yeah.
the batteries are.
They
And
forget,
again, maybe
yeah.
it's the hubris of Cavalier, but to not have some kind of like emergency shutdown or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
For them,
or what they did mention, which is like, we know everything you say, and it's like,
Mhm.
I guess
Yeah.
you trust all of that, Timothy Oliphant. Like you're
Right.
never.
But also Timothy Oliphant's doing his own thing. Like he doesn't even really care about Cavalier. Like he's just kind of doing his own thing the whole time.
They also fire one of their lead scientists, and instead of being like,
Yeah.
actually, you get to stay here in prison forever, they're like, yeah, sure, leave the island. We go work
Yeah.
for Wayland Yutani and
You
share
know all
all
the
of our
secrets.
secrets.
Right.
We don't
Yeah,
care.
this is so there's a married couple that's like the two scientists that work with the children other
Two
than
of their 4
Kirsch.
employees. Yeah.
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 There's a bunch of like extras and stuff. They just don't have speaking role. Like there's a lot
Right.
of like soldiers or guards or whatever, but not a lot of scientists in this research facility. It seems
There's
like.
a lot of unmanned computer terminals in the
Yeah.
rooms.
Mhm.
But also like the children are like assisting Kirsch with experiments on the specimens and stuff. So maybe they're learning in real time doing these experiments, I guess.
But if you
Very
could read a book
cavalier.
in a tent, like you were saying, Adam, yeah, they forget about the powers that they have. They don't really utilize, the show doesn't utilize it like as effectively.
Well, because I
Unless
think
it's
the,
convenient. Yeah.
for convenience only, yeah. Hence the body.
but they
thing.
don't realize, the children are coming into their own sort of autonomy because they're like, wait, Boy Cavalier owns us, but we could easily overpower him. That's what they realize by the end. And they're like, wait,
Mhm.
we shouldn't be owned. Like they realize like, oh, they're wiping our memories. They're controlling us and stuff. We don't need to take this, basically.
We can die and we are not safe as we are led to believe. It's like this is a not safe situation.
Essentially, they're immortal unless a mineral-eating fly attacks you, and then you're not, and then you're susceptible. Like they could still be damaged, and then once their brain is damaged, I guess they can't like they say in the show, like, oh, how's the reboot thing going? Like, oh, we haven't worked it out yet. Oh, well, I guess this one's dead then. That's $6 billion down the drain.
Yep. We should definitely. Good thing we put it with the dangerous
But
aliens.
again, sending them into that building in the first place, like, yeah, they'll probably be fine. Who knows?
And then splitting them up, like, you two go find the aliens. Like, even when Kirsch is like, split up your inexperienced, but figure it out.
After they see a giant hanging plant with like barbs hanging out of it.
Yeah.
But again, I guess he wants them to fail, so that stuff I can excuse away a lot of it.
Also, like, none of the aliens have interest in attacking synths because they can't eat them, except for these one aliens that eat minerals and stuff. So of course
and the one on the Maginot.
Yeah.
The eyeball wanted to get at Nibs, and that's why she kind of has a mental break. She has like PTSD from the eye going after her.
But yeah, like the eye, even if the eye was able to, the eye wouldn't have been able to actually go into Nibs.
Well, maybe it can inhabit a body that's been dead for 24 hours and reanimate it with a big old hole in its chest. So I think it can magic its way into anything.
Yeah, we don't really know how it works, but I do love this eye. And like at one point it's in a sheep. They put it in a sheep, which is very interesting. And then to see it like scheming and actively, basically it traps Toodles in with these flies and kills Toodles just because it can, basically. It seems like it's kind of just a malevolent, intelligent creature.
It doesn't want to
who knows what it's up to.
Yeah.
So Toodles dies. The boy who's tasked with getting an alien in a body does it. It's funny, they've got this secure science lab again with the breakable glass everywhere. We have another scene where an alien breaks through glass, and they're also like, there's a point where they're looking at the cage with these giant glass panes, and they're like, that steel is 3 inches thick, and they're talking about like the 4 beams on the edge of the glass. Like, you haven't invented bulletproof glass in this universe. But the funniest moment in the show for my wife and I was when he gets the face hugger on the body, and then in this secure lab there is a video game sized air duct, like on the ground, where it's like, oh right, our secure laboratory. We'll just go into this.
But then, like, obviously, but Kirsch is aware of everything that's happening. Is just allowing this to happen. Like, he's been aware of the Morrow talking to this kid the entire time. He's just kind of letting it happen just to see what happens. And he almost he wants the xenomorph to get into Yutani hands for some reason. I don't really know what his motivations are, but he's kind of like David. He's just doing things. And doesn't really care about humans, even though he's actually works for Prodigy, I guess.
And meanwhile, Wendy is learning to communicate with the xenomorphs. We get a new style Jurassic Park relationship with Wendy and her alien son, which was grown from the lung of her brother.
So it's a brother.
Or I guess the little alien is the one that came out of the lung.
Little Alien came out of Arthur, the guy that they put the face hugger on.
Oh, really? It's just a baby still? I was hoping it was a new form because it only had access to the lung. It would be little bitty forever. But I guess you're right. That one must be the Arthur one, and the lung one.
I thought the full-grown one is the lung one.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Related to that one, yeah.
Yeah, again, Wendy having powers. Again, this isn't really explained, but she has powers that the other children don't have, because she can control technology, including the surveillance cameras and doors of the cages and things in this facility. And then she can also communicate with the aliens, which she just kind of learned how to do, but none of the other children seem to be able to do that.
Or they're just they're not interested. They're all very adolescent, and she's
a little bit older.
A special one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
She is looking for her purpose. And
right.
Yeah, Wendy, like, controlling and like being able to talk to the xenomorph, I don't think I love it. And it's like by the end, it's not that they realize, like, yes, we can overpower the adults and stuff, but it's like, well, especially because we have Wendy controlling a xenomorph. That's really what gives them the edge, I think.
Yeah, she can kind of just send it after anyone. But she, like, even from the beginning, she's like hearing things in her head that like the aliens are like communicating with her. But again, it's just weird that she has powers that the other children don't have, because why would she be different than them? Like, they didn't change the technology between doing her and doing the rest of the children. So why can she control the cameras? Why can she talk to aliens but the rest of them can't? She's just the chosen one for some reason.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, I
just
think she's
intuiting all this.
she's the only one applying herself, right?
Ah.
And then she fights and kills an alien with a
Katana.
paper cutter blade. she
She
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
So maybe that was some connection, or maybe the eyeball is casting the alien language into her head. But yeah, they don't really take great care to explain why she can.
She's just special. But even
hear
there's
and
that other,
communicate.
the other child that's like, wait, what, that wants to be Boy Cavalier's favorite. She's like, look, I'm just as smart as Wendy. Like, I'm not, Wendy's not so great. But just none of the other children just kind of look up to her as the leader, but she just can do things that they can't.
Yeah, Curly is like, I learned French in 2 hours. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you learn everything in one day? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
why is it like the scientist? There's a kid who the kid who dies wants to be a scientist, and it's like,
Right.
man, you should have access to all the science.
Yeah.
You should still be a child, but there are savant children, that you could be like, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, their power set is very inconsistent, and the redhead is immediately a violent acrobat.
Yeah, I feel like she was the most childlike of them all. Maybe she was the youngest because of course, she has this whole thing where she believes she's pregnant. She has some kind of weird trauma because of the eye thing. They reset her memory, and then she reverts to almost a more childlike state after that, and then just starts killing people and stuff too. And yeah, that's the thing with Wendy. By the end, I'm like, wait, I'm not sure you're like a good person. Like, you're sicking this xenomorph on just random soldiers and stuff that are just trying to do their jobs because they work for this evil corporation. Like, they're just
they are soldiers hunting them down from an evil corporation. So I've got no.
But they're like, you live in this futuristic hellscape where you got to do something to like survive, and so they're just working for Prodigy.
And the enemy is still the enemy.
Yeah,
she's doing
like Joe's
to
friends
survive.
that get hired on the island from the beginning, right? Like, they're just trying to do their jobs, and then you have this cyborg hybrid that's like sicking a xenomorph on them and stuff.
And that xenomorph is invincible. It's the strongest xenomorph we've ever seen. Dodges bullets left and right. Maybe it's infused with her powers too, but
right.
Yeah, and the xenomorph in the original movie, which is the best it's ever been done, it's like we shoot it in shadow in the dark. Like, you don't put it in the broad daylight. I don't like seeing this thing outside.
No, you definitely see a lot of the alien. Like, I wish they would have, even in the beginning, like done a little more to like make it more mysterious, like it is in Alien. They just kind of showing the whole alien a lot.
Yeah,
I've been desensitized to Alien. It's my favorite monster design, so it would be really difficult for an alien to scare me. But yeah, there's not any point in the show where it's like, ooh, that was really spooky. The more spooky stuff are the other weird creatures where I'm like, I don't know what that thing's gonna do.
Yeah, the eye is on. Yeah, the eye kind of outshines the xenomorph in his own show,
which I give them credit for. Like, I'm glad that it wasn't so super xenomorph focused, and like that they did come up with these other creatures. That's probably my favorite thing about the show, is like interesting new alien species. Specifically the eyeball, but all of them are cool.
I like that it's not just doing xenomorph. It's like trying to expand on the world and have new interesting ideas. So I definitely like that.
I'm kind of like, I don't know, sort of winding down on like where the plot, because it is, like Morrow brings in his troops, and Do
you guys think that originally this was like a script about cyborgs and putting children's minds into cyborg bodies, and then afterwards they decided to add like the xenomorph branding on, or like the alien branding onto it, and make it an alien show, where it's like you could take out the xenomorph and all of the alien stuff and just have it be an original sci-fi show, and it would work probably just as well.
I might think that if any of that, the writing around that felt inspired, but it doesn't. Like they kind of say the same few things over and over, which is like could be the next evolution of humanity, but they're not really. The psychology scenes are about troubled children being troubled children. They're not about like dealing with the duality of their. They just kind of throw a graveyard in there at some point for
Right.
to be like, yeah, of course there's a graveyard for all the dead kids on our
That's where they
island.
buried the original bodies. Yeah, the
We
question
let
is
the
like,
kids run around on the island all they want. They won't be concerned
Right.
with
Find
this.
this.
they won't be traumatized by finding their own grave.
I guess
But yeah.
Joe has some like the real conceit is like Joe trying to figure out, is this actually my sister or not?
That's like the
do I
philosophical
care about
question
this
of it all.
robot sister more than I care about my friends? But that's just
Yeah.
like they barely dip their finger in that. He's
I guess
immediately
so,
like,
yeah.
she's my sister to me. It's like, all right, okay.
Well, I think,
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
great.
she has the memories and personality and consciousness of his sister. Whether or not it's truly his sister, that's like the philosophical question. But to him, she is. So I guess that explains it. Yeah.
And then there's a 5-minute like disagreement when he shoots Nibs because she's attacking people, and then she's like, "I'm mad at you," and then it's like, "No, actually, I'm still gonna release you. We're cool now."
Well, I think he's starting to realize like, maybe he doesn't like. He definitely doesn't agree with her on everything because she's like killing
Dozens
these
of
people, and he's kind of like against the killing, but he's also like, well, I can't really do anything to stop it either. Like she's
He's
more powerful than me.
out of one fire into another. At the end of the show, he is in bad shape. He is controlled by his temperamental
He's like,
superpower.
I guess I'll let these children,
With her
these
alien.
child robots, control everything now because they'll kill me if I don't. Probably.
Yeah, I guess
And
so.
the other option is Boy Cavalier, who will kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Have you kids ever seen Ice Age 4?
That should have
Put it
been the
on.
ending. They
That
should have
should've
been on
been.
the boat.
Yeah. But yeah,
watching.
the last episode,
Ice
by the
Age.
time we get to this, where everything's kind of going down on the island, Morrow is attacking the island with Yutani soldiers. You have this whole thing with Arthur. So yeah, Arthur, who is the scientist who's married to the other scientist, who's like the psychologist. He gets fired because he has ethical disagreements with what they're doing. He probably has the worst time of anyone in this show, where he's just constantly getting fucked with. But yeah, eventually he gets a face hugger on him. He gets a chest burster. He dies.
He's well played. I like that character.
Yeah.
He's the only one with a moral compass. He's like,
Right.
hey,
Even
this
his
is
wife
all
is
really
like-
bad. Yeah, and his wife is just a horrible person. It's like,
His wife's like, yeah, it is bad, but also I'm not gonna like say anything about it. Like I'm just gonna go along with it because she kind of sees herself as the mother of these children, even though she did a really bad job raising them, I guess.
Yeah.
And then by the end, the eye monster is now embodying him, so he just gets fucked with constantly in this show.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Poor guy. I did like when they're trying to get him to the beach, and he wakes up after the face hugger jumps off, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's like an emergency, and everyone's over here, and we're taking you there." And the kids are like really poorly trying to
Right, it's like,
convince him.
children are bad liars.
Yeah.
As he says,
and he's just completely sympathetic. He's the
Yeah.
only one with the love in his heart on the
that
island.
was so sad. Yeah, that they
Yeah.
killed him.
Poor Arthur.
But so all this shit is going down, but eventually the way it's all wrapped up, it's wrapped up a little too neatly for me, where it's like, yeah, actually the cyborg children have captured everybody independently and have tied them all up in this cell now. You got Boy Cavalier, you got Hirsch, you got Morrow.
With his
all of them-
Barrett arm, he has a big metal cage over his
Yeah.
cyborg arm. It looks like Barrett's Gatling gun.
Mhm. Yep. I like that they have everybody tied up, but then they just have chains around Morrow. Like, oh, he's a lot stronger. We need more than rope for this guy.
They were
Hirsch got
they
kinda
were smart
fucked
enough to actually detain their hostages correctly.
Yeah. They're the
Containment.
most competent people in the show, maybe.
Mhm.
And then there's also another cyborg who's like the older bald guy that's kind of revealed to be a cyborg, who at first you think is just like a suit working for
He's a
Prodigy.
synth. He's
A synth,
Boy
yeah, that's what I meant,
Cavalier's
sorry.
fake father. Because
Fake
Yeah.
father, yeah.
he has a big monologue about
He built him when he was 6. Yeah.
he
like
walks
Anakin
into a
Skywalker.
room full of children that can kill him, and he's like, "I killed my daddy."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
that's weird, man."
But again, part of his personality is that
Yeah.
he's, even when he's obviously losing in this scenario, he's just kind of like amused by everything. It's like, I don't really know, like I want to see where this goes, even though I'm currently being tied up by my, children that I created.
No, don't put
Yeah, I
socks
just
on
would
me.
have liked
Stop.
for him to be competent and for it to be creepy. Like, there's nothing in the last episode that I feel like is super tense, like throughout. Like, there aren't that many moments of tension. I guess there's one with the eyeball when Joe was
Oh,
in
they're
the
trying
room
to
with the
get Joe.
eyeball. And he gets
Yeah.
in the cage, and then the cage has a door that opens on the back of the cage, the eyeball.
I guess that's for the food. They put the hay in
Yeah,
there, maybe.
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like you probably want a
You're smart to go in that
dual
cage,
locking system to feed your alien
Yeah.
creature versus
100%.
Well, again, like at one point, like the door on one of the cages just malfunctions, and that's why Toodles has to like bring the food into the
yeah, he rips it
those
off
flies.
accidentally.
Oh yeah.
I would have been like, Kirsch, because I know you're watching me on the iPad. What do I do?
Yeah.
Know?
Well,
I
again,
broke
because
the
he's a
door.
child, he's like, I don't want to disappoint Kirsch, I think is what he's thinking. Like, I want to prove that I'm a good like lab assistant, so I'll just do it myself. So I understand that, like from a child's point of view.
There's a more
Yeah.
elegant way to get that tray in there, like slide it in with your foot and then close the
Right.
door. But whatever.
But he also has
We
kind of, I
let
feel like
children run the lab with all the most valuable things
Right.
on the planet.
You're in charge.
but again, because they're these like very powerful synthetic bodies, Boy Cavalier, like, it's all just about his hubris of like, oh, nothing bad can happen because I'm a genius. And so if you explain everything away that way, I think it does make sense.
His name's
I just
really
think
Cavalier.
it's convenient and it doesn't motivate anything interesting happening. Like, it's just
Yeah.
a series of like, oh, he's stupid. Oh, that person's stupid. Oh, this person
fair.
is stupid. All right. So like, even where it can be explained, I was just bored. I'd say that was my most of the episodes. I spent a majority of the time being like, are we going to see anything happen here?
Right.
Okay.
Slowly.
Yeah, it's a little drawn out. I also think like Kirsch is an interesting character, but I would have liked to learn more about why he's doing the things that he's doing. It's
Yeah,
never
could
really
have had a
explained.
great monologue scene from him when he's,
Yeah.
About why he thinks synths are superior and humans and all of their stupidity. That could have been a great chance to undercut some of all the stupidity, is for him to be like, look at all this shit that's happened, like,
Yeah.
because these stupid humans and their hubris.
Right.
Right.
Again, we get a
Right,
couple
and
scenes with him
logical,
and
yeah.
Morrow, like the elevator scene when they're kind of talking to each other, like, "Oh, you're obsolete. No, you're obsolete. Whatever." And then they have a
Yeah,
a showdown
exactly.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
they,
their little
Um,
showdown.
yeah, they have a
Yeah.
good little punch out.
Hmm.
But even he has the hubris of like, of course these children will follow me, do whatever I say. And then it's like at the end, like, oh no, he's getting tied up by the children now too. So it's like he has the same hubris that Boy Cavalier has, but as a synth, he should be maybe smarter than that.
Yeah, he
yeah.
should be more cautious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. That would have
So
been really good.
yeah, it ends with all of these people tied up in the cell with the children standing over them, and then it kind of just ends. And I'm like, okay, I guess that was the ending of the
Well,
season.
now they rule.
We
What do we
rule.
do
now
now?
what
We rule.
We rule.
Yeah.
With her two
Put
xenomorphs. She's
play
got
the
two
red hot
xenomorphs
chili
now.
peppers or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I like I kind of like her speech to Boy Cavalier, where she's like, "Oh, you're not the boy genius. You were never a boy at all. You're just an angry little man who hated everything." I like that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kinda
that's fine.
good.
Yeah.
yeah. But
But I
doesn't
guess
really
I don't know.
amount
Yeah,
to
like where
much.
does I thought, actually I thought this was going to be like a mini series when it first came out, or when it was first announced, where it's going to be just like a limited series, but I guess I don't know how many seasons they're planning to do, but I don't know where the show really goes from here in terms of like what's going to happen next season.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do we want more? I had predicted that. I thought it was going to be a miniseries too, and I figured by the end of this series, somehow the xenomorph, I didn't know there was going to be other aliens, like it gets destroyed or whatever, and Waylon's like, the next time we see one of those things, we're bringing it back for sure, and that's kind of what predicates Alien, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But Adam, like, do you want more of this? What do you think of the future is for this thing?
No, I don't. I don't want more. I just can't. There was no point when I was watching the show where I was like, I got to see that again. I like some of the, I like the premise kind of. I'm on board for weird synth explorations and
Yeah.
cyborg and humanity and whatever. I think as a 6 episode miniseries, I might have rolled with it more, but
Right.
I'm not really interested in watching pet alien adventures.
Right.
Yeah. They kind of
So-
jumped the shark with Wendy being able to control the alien, because it's like, where do you go from here now? I don't know.
Yeah.
I like
It is just completely
eyeball.
docile.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I'd watch the
one of
eyeball
pet.
show.
Yeah.
Let's
The
do
eyeball
it.
is like the most interesting thing that like of where they could take it with the eyeball for sure, I think.
And I wasn't thrilled by the eyeball. It's very obviously, a CG,
Yeah.
thing crawling around. It looks good. But I would still rather an eyeball series than let's milk more alien stuff. And I would like to know usually I like to be thrown into a world and not have context.
Hmm.
So it's weird that I'm asking to know more about how the world works. But we are thrown into the world with no context, and we stay in one place. We stay on an island for 80% of the show, and the same hallways.
Right.
So
By
if
the
there
end
was
of it,
more, I got to know something about the
Yeah.
politics of what's going on and the corporate warfare. Like,
Mhm.
right, you don't know that much more by the end of the series that you did, or the season, than you did at the beginning of the season in terms of context about the larger world around you.
yeah,
That's what
I want to
wanted
see.
more.
I want to see competent villains, evil corporate geniuses trying to maneuver each other, not like, I guess what we better do is attack the island then.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
maybe
the,
you should send an overwhelming force then. not
Right.
17 dudes.
Not like
six
one guy with a
commandos,
couple
yeah.
other people. Yeah. Yeah, and again, like he's relying on slightly to like get this, baby xenomorph to him, but of course that was going to go wrong. Like you're relying on a child that like barely knows what he's doing, and then the chest burster comes out and then just immediately runs away. Like of course that was going to happen the whole time.
And then when he finds out and he's like, well, plan B anyway. Like we're going to attack anyway.
We're already here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Again, I think that
matter.
was just like one contingency plan. Like he was always planning to attack, but it was a lot of work just to do that, which of course it was never going to work out.
No.
And that is
Like,
a
you didn't have to go to-
large portion of the show. I mean,
Yeah.
that is a huge chunk of the meat of the show is like watching a child be like, I have to save my mother.
Yeah.
And be bad doing it. So on a rewatch, like it's a lot of stuff I don't care about that I'm rewatching.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Ultimately,
be friends?
I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm more positive on the show than maybe you guys, because I just love the production design of everything, and I love the cinematography. I think was so good. Like I definitely have some problems with the overall plot and things like that, but it was just a nice show to look at, so I didn't mind like watching it, even though there's some moments that I didn't love, and like moments of like things not happening, nothing happening. But the last episode was kind of a downer for me, because I was like, I wanted more to happen within this season, and it just kind of ends, and it didn't really leave me super wanting to see next season, but I'll definitely check it out whenever it comes out.
Well, I don't even know if it's been greenlit, but how about we go maybe over to final thoughts as we kind of wrap this up here, and we'll talk our Alien Earth right after this.
Aye.
We're back on Normies Like Us talking Alien Earth and our final thoughts on Alien Earth as we kind of wrap this thing up. And I just want to follow up on where we kind of left off on the world building. Yeah, I want more. I don't know how life on Earth during this time period really is outside of one city, right? Like what is the status quo in other parts of the world? I was hoping to get more of that. I think it's bad though. Yeah.
Seems bad.
Yeah, it seems bad.
But maybe there's one of the big five where it's like a communist, like utopia,
Yeah.
Who knows? We didn't really get an exploration of that. So it's
a worker-owned
place
co-op.
they could
one
go.
of the big five. Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have. No, you have to be profit hungry to become one of the big five. You don't profit share and become one of the big five. Come on.
The other four wouldn't allow it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think with this show, like there were some early comparisons that some people were saying, like, "Oh, it's the Andor of the Alien franchise," and definitely don't agree with that. Like, it's not nearly as well written as Andor. It looks good. Again, like, I think it looks really good. It's got money behind it. I think the acting, like the cast did a good job, but the writing is definitely not on the level of something like Andor. So I definitely don't agree with that.
They say the trouble with writing smart characters is they can only be as smart as the writers, and like it's
Yeah.
just all the comedy of errors that make.
But again, I
basically
think
the show run. Yeah.
Noah Hawley is a talented guy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Fargo, any seasons of that show.
Have not.
It's basically, again, it's loosely based on the movie. You guys have seen the movie Fargo, right?
I have not.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, every season is a different, it's like an anthology. So every season is a different plot. None of them are actually connected to, I should say they are connected to the plot of Fargo, but it's hard to explain because each story is like each season is an isolated story with different characters taking place in a different time period and stuff. But I in a lot of those seasons, it just comes down to like it's a comedy of errors where it's like different incompetent people doing things, but that's kind of the point of it. Doesn't work as well within the Alien universe.
Yeah, interesting. But I guess that's where my final thoughts will be. Then is I like some of the aliens, but I don't think like when we saw she can control them and like he's attacking the soldiers, the xenomorph, right? Were they expecting me to be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that's sick."
Where's my needle drop?
Right.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't know why I don't like that at all. So
they're taking some big swings with that stuff. It doesn't always work for me. And again, like I don't know what a second season would be. Like more boy Cavalier, but he's like in prison, but he's having scenes with Wendy, and they're like verbally sparring. I guess I don't know.
I assume Prodigy as a company just completely disappears. Like I think the androids would have to, or the hybrids would all die. That xenomorph needs to die. Like, how do we get the status quo if this stuff doesn't come up in later installments that like, oh yeah, there's this thing called Prodigy and they were doing a thing. Like, I don't know how,
because it's all kept under
fit it in neatly.
Corporate, right. It's all classified probably to the public.
So. Yeah.
So even if Yutani ends up with
already out in space, I guess.
Yeah.
They're identical spaceship.
Right.
In hypersleep either.
That's kind of how I think of it as like, yeah, Nostromo is out there already. But again, in Aliens, obviously Nostromo is the first contact that they've had with the xenomorphs because then they get Ripley's help.
Anyway.
Yeah, maybe they were lying to Ripley the whole time.
So they knew.
But I don't know why I'm trying to correct the timeline.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, my wrap-up thoughts are just, this wasn't really for me. I know a lot of people who really enjoyed it. This was, unfortunately, it's the kind of thing that I can't, like, I feel like I'm always going to be in the situation I am with The Last Jedi, where it's like a lot of people I love and respect love it, and I'm just in the theater going, why are they doing that? Why'd they do that? That doesn't make any logical sense. If you can take the ship off of the ship, why don't they put another Star Destroyer on the other side of the ship?
Right.
And that was my general feeling through most of the show, was just like, why does this happen? Which a lot of people, and they're probably better people for it, as long as they're engaged in the show, that doesn't really matter. I just I did not have that state of tension or excitement. I was basically like, when am I going to get to see one of those little guys do a little creepy thing again? Like, we watched the first episode of the Americans last night on your recommendation, Hobbs. I've been meaning to watch that since you brought it up in an episode, and it was like, I'm feeling the tension here. Like I can cut through this with a knife at any point in the show, and I've never had those stakes in this, which is kind of what I want, either in a just pure horror sense or in that oppression that I did feel early on, where I'm like, oh man, they're all under lock and key here, and everything is being observed. And then it was like, no, nobody's watching anything.
Nothing's being observed.
Yeah. Just do whatever you want here.
Yeah.
Run around. Yeah.
That's awesome that you're watching The Americans. I hope you like it and get into it. That's a really well written show, I think. Yeah, I agree. This show is definitely not as well written, as something like Andor. Again, I can kind of excuse some of the plot contrivances, I guess, in my head, just because I like looking at it and I like shows that are just really well made. And so I think maybe the plot and the script is maybe the weakest element of this, but I don't like, it's not like an amazing show to me, but it's something that I'll tolerate and sit through. So I guess that's my endorsement of it.
Yeah, I guess the eyeball is going to come back to the facility and be like, I'm going to run the company now. I'm really actually really smart.
It'd be funny.
I thought maybe Boy Cavalier was just going to be like, get in here. You know,
right.
I thought there was a moment where that looked like it was maybe going to happen, and I was like, that'd be interesting.
I think probably
That's pretty crazy.
the eye kills whatever it takes over, though, probably.
I think so too, but he had like his meds all over the table, and he was having a manic moment, and I was like, and everything was crashing down around him. I was like, that'd be an interesting ending.
Yeah. I think it would be funny if like next season the eye just stays in Arthur's dead body the whole time, so it's just walking around with like a chest burst hole in its chest the entire time.
It's like Men in Black.
Yeah.
Roach Man, just very obviously messed up.
You just give him a new shirt and get him an eye patch.
Yeah. But overall, I do love like seeing some new species and stuff. Like I thought that was a really cool idea of the show to like have different alien species. It's not all just about the xenomorph. And I'd love to see that expanded upon and learn more about these new species, and learn more about the world, I guess, and how it all comes together.
Yeah, I agree. And then, like I was saying earlier, we saw the Predator Badlands trailer. It's explicitly, Weyland Yutani robot is now with the Predators, so that's kind of merging those universes now too. So it's like, we have one unified Blade Runner, Predator, Alien universe now. I don't know.
Alien versus Predator versus Deckard would be.
Yes, deep fake.
Yeah,
Deckard.
I think it'll make sense in Predator Badlands though.
Yeah,
because of the AVP connection, of course, which you say isn't main canon, but I think they could exist within the same world very easily.
I think the pitch is they're backdooring another AVP movie. Like that's why they're kind of merging this so they can make another one.
Which is crazy because, as we've discussed, they should have just stuck to the formula and just done another Predator and another point in history. You know,
well, I have faith in it because
milk that formula dry. I'll watch one of those a year for like 10 years before I'm tired.
Yeah,
but I mean, I have faith in it because it is the same. It's Dan Trachtenberg who directed Prey, is also doing this, so it's like they have faith in that guy because he made Prey, so I guess he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but you can't trust one person to save your movie. It's not like, there are auteur directors or whatever, but like I love specific directors, but I'm never like, I got faith in you to hold this franchise movie together. I guess that's my feeling on it. I'm a little bit wary of that movie.
Well, then when we think of Star Wars has kind of had it going through a dip. Marvel is going through a dip, and now it's like, time for the Alien franchise to get Disney, because Prey was like an experiment. They didn't even give it a theatrical release, and it was like a hit out of nowhere. And then like, Dan Trachtenberg, get over here, but here's the script, here's the plan. He is,
he's now kind of the Kevin Feige of the Predator franchise, I guess, because he
what a mighty throne that is. He sits upon.
Right. Oh, wow. But because he also directed this animated movie that came out this year too, Predator Killer of Killers.
I enjoyed that. I like that.
Which is sort of a more anthology.
I need to watch that. Star Wars
Visions.
It's worth
a watch.
Yeah.
It's very like Gendy Tartakovsky or Tartakovsky. I don't know. I apologize. It's like he directed, a Predator anthology series.
Okay.
Right. So that was Dan Trachtenberg too. So it's like, he just is doing all Predator stuff now.
I would.
Also Alien stuff. Yeah.
So he's the James Gunn of Predator. That's fine. And maybe they'll combine that with Alien.
Needle drops. I guess the James Gunn comp is correct.
Yeah, when they make Alien Romulus 2, then that director will be that guy of Alien, right? And then Mike will be super happy.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, that was the final question: is it better or worse than Romulus?
Oh,
right.
Where do you weigh in? It's worse
For me,
Uh,
I like it more, but yeah, I want to hear Adam's
Wow.
opinion on it.
I abstain. It's just very specific things I have such qualms with. But I rewatched Romulus recently, and it is like the setup for that movie is like it should be my dream, movie.
Yeah.
Like abandoned, derelict. I want derelict spaceships and derelict space stations and derelict space prisons. Give me
Mhm.
all of that until the genre has been bled dry, like the Marvel universe has.
Right.
But yeah, I'll abstain from making a judgment because I'm so skewed against certain things in that movie.
That's fair. I think I'm going to say Alien Earth is better because I want to start a Last Jedi feud with
Okay.
Mike,
Sounds good.
as the #1 fan of Romulus.
I can't wait to hear this arbitrated for the next few seasons.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get one lawyer. I'm gonna take my shoes off, and we're gonna settle this once
Right.
and for all.
We'll have to get Colin's opinion if he ever watches this show.
You'll never
yeah.
believe my gotcha here.
Yes.
You have not prepared for this.
Have you seen my Alien Romulus VHS copy? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, if you go to Mike's house, which I did recently, he literally has a like an Alien Romulus shrine that he has all his Alien Romulus
Dude.
artifacts in his house. So
I do have.
he's very serious about this. Yeah.
I am. If you're watching,
You got
on
the VHS, you
YouTube,
got the
yeah,
beer.
we
Yeah.
got the beer that they did. Ask me.
got the
I got one of those
screenplay
beers that you got
Heck
me.
yeah.
Were kind enough to give me.
You've got the
Mhm.
pho book thing, like
From Japan.
you've got it all,
Japan
yeah.
photo book. But
which I love that you love it so much. I appreciate that.
I have huge problems with some of the creative decisions, but I think the script is really underrated. I think the script is really good, and that's why I say that Alien Earth is worse than this because it's pretty dumb at points, and I think Romulus is pretty smart, more smart than people give it credit for. So that's where I land.
That's fair. I mean, you could say like I have to rewatch it because I haven't seen it in a while, but like some of the characters in that make bad choices too. That comes back to bite them.
They're civilians, not paid scientists on a science vessel.
No, that's
Yeah,
fair.
they are like in over their head from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, but there's good stuff. Like Jacob said, I like the look of the show. I like some of the aliens, but yeah, there's should have been 6 episodes, too long. Yeah, I don't know. But Alien Earth, it's a thing that we watched.
I mean, you could say at least we're getting new Alien stuff, I guess, because for a long time, between Covenant and Romulus, there was really no new Alien, unless, video games and comics and things like that, but no new movies or anything like that. And so they're interested in sort of revitalizing the franchise, maybe for better or worse.
Revitalizing or milking? I get confused with this company.
Yeah, I mean,
like
for a long time
corpse.
they weren't making movies because Covenant did not do well, like box office wise, I think. So that kind of derailed it for a while.
I'm all for anything I love to die as soon as possible. that's my take. Is it's like one's enough, But I do really like Aliens and Alien 3. So
yeah,
whatever.
And Alien Resurrection, great movie.
There's value in
I love it.
milking something a little bit.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, everything's going to be over commodified
I
because
mean-
of capitalism, but yeah.
We got the Mandalorian and Grogu on the.
I love Grogu.
Oh man, he definitely shouldn't have stayed with Luke Skywalker.
He's gonna do things. He's gonna eat food. It's gonna be so funny.
We're gonna get Alien versus Predator versus Deckard. It's gonna happen.
We've got Jeremy Allen White playing Jabba the Hutt's son, who's a muscular Hutt or whatever.
He's in a blood sport arena, I guess.
Yeah, you can't get better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing that's coming out. This blows my mind too. This is the first Star Wars movie since the Han Solo movie.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, so they just stopped making movies for a while, but they're like, we're going to come back with one that's going to please everybody. The Mandalorian and Grogu. Everyone's going to love it.
The comment section on that trailer is brutal. And
Yeah.
Is it?
some people are like, "This looks like an episode of the TV show." Well, I
Right,
don't
well,
want
that's
to
what-
see this. Like,
Yeah, it's just clips
Yeah.
from the TV show and like the most recent season that people didn't even like very much. And yeah, I'm kind of over it. So they need to do more Andor type stuff, less this type stuff.
the music in the trailer rules because it's from season 1 of Mando, and it just hurts me remembering, like, oh man, remember how much fun that was, like early Mandalorian, where it was like,
Is that
didn't feel like the most Disneyfied, product ever.
And that's what I'm.
No, they're in kind
feeling.
of bad shape.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like with Alien Earth, it's like there are points where you're like, oh, I remember when this was a lot better.
Yeah. Or even just weirder, or even just odder.
Yeah,
But
I
hey,
like
we got Andor. We got
We
it.
got that. I'm
It's
just looking
done.
forward to. We'll
That's
get. We'll get a Deckard voiceover movie where he's like, there was some kind of alien.
They'll wait right until Harrison Ford dies.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they got to do it.
No,
They got to do it
they'll
soon
pump in
before he
his
dies
corpse.
because
No, they're
No,
gonna
they
deepfake it.
want to deep fake it. They don't.
Yeah.
Right. But they know they can just pay him a bunch of money and he'll say yes because he's done it already for Indiana
Well,
Jones.
we heard
and
him.
Star
We
Wars.
heard him. Yeah, try to be young Indiana Jones in the CG portion of the new Indiana Jones movie.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't exactly have the same quality of voice that he had when he was 60 years younger.
Yeah, jeez.
That's definitely true.
Oh yeah,
They'll just get
they
the
gotta wait.
AI. We'll get AI Harrison Ford. It'll be fine.
fine.
But I still I like this more than I like this more than Mandalorian and Grogu because I think at least still they care about how it looks and like it has good. Again, the cinematography me buys a lot of goodwill because I can excuse a lot of dumb stuff if it at least looks good. And I'm sort of I went to film school, so I appreciate good aesthetics and stuff. Yeah. And it looks, it doesn't even look like TV. It looks like, but they put so much money into it. It had to look good, I think, because I think
the
it had a huge
Mangino
budget.
episodes specifically look like extremely filmic.
Yeah.
In that way too. So
It does. They are only using like 2 sets though for a full season
That's
of
true.
television. I would have been more impressed with the look if it was 6 episodes. Should have been 6 episodes.
Yeah. A little
I
too
was
drawn
like, all
out.
right, I've seen that
Certain-
concrete wall before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certain scenes are definitely repeating things that have already been discussed. Let's say like it's just repeating certain themes and hammering in your head. Like this is what the show is about. It's Peter Pan. Don't you get it? They're Lost Boys. You see, Boy Cavalier. He's Peter Pan. Do you see? Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Whatever.
It is what it is. But yeah, any final lingering thoughts for Alien Earth, or did we kind of
Hook is better.
Hook is better?
Book is great. Yeah.
Hook is great. It does kind of work that we're doing Alien right now because it's like a soft launch going into spooky season that we're going to be doing. So it's good timing
That's
for that
right.
at least.
Yeah, we're going into October. We got some good Spooktober movies for you coming up. We're talking 3 classics, of course, and then our Spooktacular at the end of the month.
So thematically it kind of fits. It's just a bummer that eyeball is living in Colin's head right now. Hopefully he'll be able to join us when we do some
I don't trust him.
episodes. I don't trust him either.
Yeah. He does know pi, though. He knows the first 5 digits of pi, decimal pi, so.
That's
Smarter than
more
me.
than I know. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
14159. 3.14159.
Nice.
See, I'm smart. I know things.
That's very smart. I'm just cavalier.
Sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Adam, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
so
you so
much for
much.
having me.
We love having you on. Our alien expert, our Star Wars expert. And he knows other stuff, probably.
I think Mike might pass me on the alien expertise soon enough. But I'm always happy to come on, even if I'm not actually an expert.
Well, the
You're an
lower
expert to
third
me.
says expert. You're an expert. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
we control the narrative around here. But yeah, and listeners, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Normies_like_us. Give us a like, share, and a follow. Tell us what your favorite Peter Pan character is, and if you like this show or not, and if you think Alien Romulus.
For me, it's
is
the
good,
alligator.
which you should. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to ask Adam before we go. So we've been talking some other TV shows, and I want to see if you've seen any of these. Have you watched Twisted Metal at all?
No, I listened to your episode on Twisted Metal. I guarantee you, most of these shows, I just listen to you guys talk about them instead of
Right.
watching them.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
That's how I stay in tune with the culture.
Heck
You're
yeah.
not a big comic. You're not a big like superhero guy. You're not a big
No.
Marvel or DC guy either. So I assume you haven't seen Peacemaker.
No, but I'm
That's
curious enough about Peacemaker.
Did you see the new Superman movie?
No, I wanted to, and then enough time passed where I was like, I'm gonna listen to the Normies episode.
That's fair. You can catch it
Wow.
on streaming pretty soon.
That's funny.
Yeah, I might watch it then. I might check it out.
I think it's on streaming now.
That's
but
fair.
yeah.
I think we would recommend Twisted Metal. You might like that. I don't know if you have any previous
Can't
history
be.
with the game or anything, but it's fun.
Yeah, I've been curious, but I think I'm not a big TV guy, you know. Maybe that's part of the reason why I'm so harsh on this show. Is like I only really stick with TV when I'm like, this is cooking. You know,
Yeah.
like this is a 10 out of 10.
That's fair. I'll just watch any garbage, you know. don't give a
Famously, you
shit.
do love garbage sci-fi series. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's right up
I
your
love
alley.
garbage.
Cover the trash, man.
No, but I like good things too. I like good things more than bad things. Hot take.
Only good can happen. Yeah.
Nothing bad can happen. Only good can happen.
That's what Boy
Don't take
Cavalier
it-
thought the whole show. Nothing bad can happen. Only good can happen.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some problems, but ultimately, you know, I guess we give it a half-hearted check it out. If you're interested in alien stuff, you might like it, or you might find it good enough to watch.
1.25 speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's all. So that's Alien Earth.
Thanks for listening. We've been your hosts and guests, Mike Amorph.
Oh, this is I forgot I go next now. This is Eyeball Jacob.
Ooh.
I'm Mr. Smee.
All right, we'll catch you next time, normies. Keep those
Catch you
eyeballs
next time.
protected.
That's right. Bye.
Bye.